Penn State has looked really good in the passing game in their first 2 games this season. Can they get the running game going on the road at Auburn this Saturday? The Penn State secondary could have a heyday on the plains at Jordan-Hare. Auburn quarterback T.J. Finley has thrown 3 interceptions in 2 games early on this season against the vaunted non-conference schedule of Mercer and San Jose State. 2 of those interceptions actually came against FCS Mercer. And you look at Auburn's wide receiving core outside of Javarius Johnson, none of this really scares you. Tank Bigsby, their big running back, is the 4th leading receiver so far this season. This is not a passing attack that should scare you for Penn State. The rushing attack is something a little bit different. Tank Bigsby, Jarquez Hunter, these are 2 really good running backs in the backfield. I think for the Auburn Tigers, I'm not saying Penn State's going to have a hard day. I'm not saying they're going to be an easy day. I think it's going to be a challenge. This is really the first time all season that this Penn State run defense is going to be challenged, and it's going to be an interesting atmosphere to take on that type of running game. But like I said before, Penn State has a big-time advantage in the secondary. They've got better talent in the secondary. They match up really well against Auburn's wide receivers. I don't think this is going to be an Auburn team that's going to throw the ball all that much. If Auburn wants to win, heck, if they want to have a shot in the 4th quarter against Penn State, they need to run the ball really well. Tank Bigsby needs to go over 100 yards. Jarquez Hunter needs to get involved as well in this game. They need to be able to run the ball really well against Penn State. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Curtis Jacobs in that linebacking core, I think he could have a good day. It's all going to depend how they match up against that Auburn offensive line. When you look at the other side of the ball, we talked about Penn State and their passing game. This is a passing game that looks pretty darn good. Still looking at that running game. I still got my eyes on that running game. When is Nick Singleton going to break out? We all know he's got so much talent. And whether it's Nick Singleton or Katron Allen, they've got 2 freshmen back there that have a lot of talent in Happy Valley. When are we going to see the big-time rushing performance against a good team? Could it happen against Auburn? Well, Auburn is better at defending the run than they are defending the pass. They've got some good players up front. They were about top 5 in rush defense last year in the Southeastern Conference. They kind of brought in some bigger bodies on the defensive line. I think the defensive line is going to be pretty good. It's going to be a challenge for that Penn State offensive line. I'm not sure if this is the game where Penn State breaks out with a big-time rushing performance, but I think they could throw the ball until we're all blue in the face. That's a Penn State blue. That ain't an Auburn blue. That's a Penn State blue. I think they match up really well. Right, this was an Auburn secondary, 12th out of 14 teams in the SEC last season to pass defense. You lose Smoke Monday, you lose Roger McCreary, the 2 best parts of that Auburn pass defense. And now what do you got back there? Not a whole lot. And then you look at the wide receivers and the talent that Penn State has and what they've shown thus far to be able to throw the ball and push the ball down the field. I think that's a really good matchup for Penn State. Look, I think they're going to throw the ball to victory in this one. They could go over 300. I think this is going to be a game where Penn State is just going to keep on throwing. They're going to keep on throwing. They're going to score that way. But if they want to be successful down the road, they're going to need to run the ball. And maybe this is a game where they're going to need to run the ball. Maybe. But I love the talent. I think they've got a lot more talent than Auburn does on the other side of the football. Who knows, going into an SEC road environment, weird things can happen. But I really like the way Penn State matches up against the Auburn Tigers this Saturday down in Alabama. I want to hear what you guys think of this matchup. You think Penn State is going to roll away with the win, or is Auburn going to surprise some people, make this one tough, or even maybe pull the upset? Leave your thoughts, comments below. Subscribe to Big Ten Ted. I'm Big Ten Ted, and we will see you in the next one.